Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today I want to talk about the Flowering Tulips and the Tulips dies. They're on page 16 of the new mini catalog, and this is a two-step stamp, and there are dies to cut out some of the flowers and leaves. There are also dies to cut out tulips. So these are the dies. There's the two different stems and two different leaves. And then there's this really cute one that creates this kind of look that you could use to, you could have some DSP in behind, or you could just use it as a piece of interest. But if you do shaker cards, it creates all of these little tiny squares for you. So that's an interesting piece. This piece too, can you imagine that as a border on a card? Isn't that gorgeous? So that's this long border die here. This is a single stamp, and it's cut out with one of the dies. This is the two-step stamp with the stamens in the middle, which is this one. And I did this stamp in a first value, Flirty Flamingo, and this one is the background in a second value, Flirty Flamingo, and then the stamens in the middle I did in basic gray. So that's that one. And then there is a tulip just on its own that you can cut out with this die here. And then there's actually a bit of grass that you can cut out with the die as well. So there are lots of really great greetings in this Flowering Tulips set as well. Now the tulip dies. You're going to look at the dies and you're going to be intimidated. They are very strange to look at. It's very hard to imagine how they would actually go together. So what I'll do is I'll walk through putting them together for you. There are 3 different tulips that you can make. There is this one here. Then there is the tulip bud. And then there is this tulip. So in order to make these, you need to die cut out your tulip shapes. And you look at that and you say, how is that going to be a tulip? Well, you cut it out and you fold it in. These have little score lines in here. You fold them in to make your tulips. So for this one, you need this die, you need this die, which creates this piece here, and you need this piece, which is created with this die. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build this one. I'm just going to move this up a little bit so that you can see how I put this together. So this is our tulip here. So the peak stays up. We're going to take our centerpiece first, the piece that goes furthest in the back, and we are going to tuck it in. And this one I did it so that you could, it was a little bit proud of the rest. But in the picture in the book, you line it up at the bottom and you get just that little bit of the background in. So that's how it's lined up. And then you take your kind of middle piece. It'd be your lunch meat in the sandwich, or no, that's the lunch meat in the sandwich. I guess this would be the lettuce in the sandwich. And you just pop this in like that. And then you fold your sides over and there's your tulip. And I just put a little bit of adhesive on the bottom there, because the idea is to have it a little bit 3D so you can kind of see down inside it. So that's the one tulip built. The second tulip is just kind of the bud. And it actually took me a while to figure out which way up it went because it didn't look right to me. But there's actually, I don't know if you can see them, there's actually kind of little shapes created by the shapes in the die. and they kind of direct you a little bit. So this is actually a bud. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our pieces and fold them over, and it goes like this. And we're going to take one of these center pieces and we're going to put adhesive on it. And then we are going to put it in the middle. And you will see it at the bottom and at the top of the piece. And then you just fold it over like that. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive in this bottom corner here, like that, and fold it over. And they do wiggle a little bit. So there, I've just moved it so it's all, the shape is correct. So that is how you build the tulip bud. And the last one is this tulip here. This is probably my favorite one. But you've got your die cut like this, that you've used this die to cut out, and you fold it over, and that's kind of your casing for the tulip. And you're going to layer up your middle piece, and you're going to want that so it's just a little bit proud, just a little bit higher than the back of the tulip. So just kind of like that. And then you're going to take your middle piece, and this goes in, just kind of lays like that, and you fold this over, and there's your tulip. And all I did on this one is I put a little bit of adhesive on that edge, and just, if you get a little bit too much, you can just rub it off. But then it still leaves this flap a little bit up so that you've got that kind of the 3D look. So that is how you use the dies to make the tulips. They actually fold over. So this, think of it as folding the sides in to the middle. And that's how the tulips are made. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lot of fun with this set. Again, it's on page 16 of the spring mini catalog, and it's the Flowering Tulips with the tulip dies. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.